cursed luck. Well, well. Distinguished guests.
For the love of God. Does it have to be him?
Trust me, friend.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
We need to have a word with you.
Would your graces care to sit?
I think not.
What brings you to my humble rectory, gentlemen?
Are you all packed, Godwin? I heard you got kicked out of your humble rectory.
So who do I owe that to? You wouldn't have had anything to do with this, would you, Hanush?
You've no one to thank for that but yourself, Godwin. If you hadn't been living like an animal, you wouldn't be regretting it now.
You're wrong, though. I don't regret anything.
And I trust you won't regret hearing us out now. We have a secret mission for you.
Secret mission? Sir Radzig, I hope you're not trying to drag me into some state espionage game of yours. Somehow, over the years, I fell out of the habit of being inconspicuous.
You buffoon! Let his lordship finish!
Do you know about Lord Capon's mission?
I don't know. Should I?
A few days ago, we sent him with a message for Sir Otto von Berghoff to his castle Trotsky.
A few days ago, you say? Well, Trotsky isn't that far away. Shouldn't he be back by now?
He should. But he's not.
And why did you come to me for this?
For Christ's sake! Get your booze-soaked noggin working. Isn't it obvious? We need you to go to Trotsky and find out what's keeping him.
Why me?
Honestly, I'd like to know that too, Radzig. Why this fellow?
He has experience like few others. You know that, Hanush. And not just in combat. Although he might not look like it at the moment, he is from a noble family. So he knows how to deal with nobility.
What? You're saying this scoundrel in a cassock is blue-blooded?
It's true. And he also understands the common people. Since we don't know what's holding Capon up, we need someone who can deal with whoever he comes across.
I hope you're right. So what do you say, Godwin?
How could I say no after such words of praise?
Well, that went better than I expected.
Oh, don't get ahead of yourself. I won't rest until my nephew is safely back in Perkstein.
When should I go?
Right away.
Fuck! Did they have to lock us up in here of all places? I have a feeling these walls are moving. The cell is getting smaller and smaller. Can you hear me? Let me out! Hey! Hear me!
Give it a rest. No one's come in.
I feel like we're going to be crushed here.
Don't worry, we won't. Any crushing will be done later by the executioner.
Oh, what a relief to hear that. Listen here, Henry. I wanted to say, well, that I'm glad to see you again. Henry?
Oh, it sounds like the great Sir Hans Capon is getting ready to apologise. But why?
Well, because I'm just sorry, I suppose. Nevertheless, Henry, I wanted to say that, well, you were right. I behaved badly. Awfully.
Do you realise the shit you got me into? I was stuck in a foreign region far from home, without money, without my things, and the worst of it all, I was completely alone.
I know! I already said I behaved like a fool, all right? So, what were you getting up to the whole time, anyway?
I was working in the blacksmith's forge in Takov.
Oh, well, lucky for you, you have a trade you could work at.
Sort of. Most of the time I was actually chasing after lost carts, or scrambling over the rocks looking for hermits.
Well, at least you weren't bored, eh?
Well, you haven't been idle. Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, envoy to the royal hetman, and poacher.
Only commoners poach. I was hunting in the territory of another noble. Without his permission, admittedly.
But that's a capital crime.
Ah, bollocks! Nothing to worry about.
Heaven help us.
Shh, quiet! There's something going on outside the door.
Have you seen Captain Thomas? Yarrick says he's in a bad way.
He's right. Them fuckers cut him up good.
Last I heard from Father Nicodemus, though, was that his wounds are healing.
Aye. Only he's been struck down by a fever. And the Sawbones is away with Sir Otto.
Good God!
Captain Thomas! Yes! He met us before we reached the pond, didn't he? We showed him our letter.
But he's in a fever. You heard them.
Oh, we'll deal with that somehow. Hey!
Leave it be.
Hey! Open up, you rabble! We're messengers from Ratai. Your captain can confirm it. Do you hear?
Again?
Those damned fools won't give us any peace.
Come on, fellas! Be reasonable! We're envoys of the Lord of Lipa!
About time. Just you wait till Lord von Berghoff hears how you treat a noble.
You, come with me to the courtyard. Chamberlain says we ain't gonna waste bread on you for nothing. We've got a job for you.
What about me? I want to talk to the captain right now.
You want to talk to God, fella. You're getting the gallows for poaching.
What? But you can't hang a nobleman.
Jesus, wait! Hear that? That bell's tolling for you, mate. 12 more times, and the priest will come for you. Hans!
But you can't!
Hans, don't worry, I'll fix it! Move it!
I'm a nobleman! Do you hear me? I'm a noble! I'm Sir Hans Capon of Bergstein.
So, if you want to get out of here, you'll have to make amends and work off your debt. For a start, you can carry all the charcoal from this wagon up to the store.
Wait, though. What's going to happen with Capon?
With that madman? He was poaching, so he'll swing.
But he really is a noble.
Ain't you a bit old for fairy tales, son? Once the bell tolls for the 12th time, it won't matter a damn who he used to be anyway. If you want to do something for him, pray. And best pretend you don't know him.
Your Captain Thomas can testify that we're envoys from Ratai. It's the truth, I swear.
Don't you say a word about our captain. We don't know if the poor fellow will live to see morning. They moved him during the night to the chapel at the very top of the Maiden. It seems only God can help him now.
And can I go there? I really have to talk with Captain Thomas.
Don't fucking annoy me, fella. You got off lightly so far, believe me.
What? You won't even let me pray in the chapel?
We will not. You're not allowed inside at all. And don't let me catch you snooping around there.
Why did they move your captain to the chapel? All that way up?
So he'd be closer to God. Either the good Lord will help him, or take him to his bosom. The captain's in a really bad way. And our Sawbones is away with Lord von Berghoff.
What about my things? You took everything away from me.
That's what happens to people in jail. When we set you free, you'll get your stuff back. In the worst case, we might keep something to cover the damages you caused at the wedding. Got it?
Got it. Do you always ring the bells before an execution?
Aye, it's a local custom. They say back in the past, the local lord slept through a scheduled execution, and they had to release the condemned man. Don't worry, that won't happen today.
What happens when I'm done with this?
What do you reckon? You'll get another job, and when there's no more work for you, you can bugger off wherever you like.
That's all?
Aye? What'd you expect? The axe? Lord von Bergov is strict, but he ain't a tyrant. But poaching now, that's another matter.
I'll get to work then.
Good lad. The store's up by the gate to the inner bailey. Orsina the blacksmith is idling around somewhere there. He'll think up some job for you. Or go down to the outer bailey where they're building the scaffold near the gate. They'll be working up there for sure. And no wandering around where you're not allowed. Don't stick your nose inside the castle. Got it?
Yeah. Got it.
Sure about that when I hear what you're saying.
It was nice. Good food and drink. Lots of...
Oi, Wojtek. Could you stop gabbing and come and help?
Can't you see I'm talking to someone?
I ain't seen you here. Are you new and all? Well, I'm Magda.
Aye, I'm new here. Just like Wojtek here.
It's great to have some new lads here.
Oh, aye. Henry, how about you bugger off? I wouldn't want a repeat of our last disagreement.
It'd end up differently this time.
Are you also helping Wojtek's uncle?
Sure. Me and Wojtek are helping his uncle. And I'm sure Wojtek's uncle would rather he stopped gabbing and gave me a hand.
I wouldn't want to keep you lads from your work. Take care then.
Thanks a lot. Are you on some kind of mission to ruin my fucking life?
You should thank me for not saying what you're really doing here. And now come and give me a hand.
That's just great.
Don't see something like that every day.
That's that. Do you know where Captain Thomas is? I heard he was in a bad way.
It's true, son. It doesn't look good for him. Why do you ask?
I'd like to pray with him.
A kind thought, but you can't get to Thomas. I had him moved during the night up to the chapel in the Maiden.
Why can't I get there?
You know, the castle chapel is an important place. Only Lord von Berghoff, his kin, and a few others are allowed there.
Like you, for instance.
Naturally. It's certainly good of you to want to pray for Thomas, but you can do that anywhere without having to disturb him.
I'll be going then.
Go, and don't forget about that prayer. Till we meet again.
I finished hauling the sacks. What now?
How should I know? They told me to think up some job for you, so you wouldn't be idle. So if you want to pass the time, go ahead, but do it sensibly.
Well, I'd say there's plenty of work to do around here. I'll gladly help you with something.
Aye, but I've only got work in the forge, and that ain't for everyone. I'm a respected tradesman here, understand?
I'm a blacksmith too, even if I don't look the part right now.
Oh, really?
Aye. My pa was a blacksmith, a respected one.
Then you might actually be some use to me. At least I wouldn't have to work my fingers to the bone all the time. I'll tell you what, go to the forge. The fire's gone cold. I haven't had much time for, well, the trade. So fire it up and make some horseshoes for Kabat. He's our groom, always bothering me that he don't have shoes for the horses, and there's only one nag stabled here now that his lordship's away with his men.
All right. How many should I make?
How many legs does a horse have?
Well, it depends. Usually 4, but once there was a 3-legged foal born in our village.
All right. You're a fool, but maybe you're a handy one. So go and make 1 horseshoe for the groom, all right?
But a horse has 4.
Aye, but Kabat's missing just 1, and I ain't going to waste more on him.
1. All right.
You'll find everything you need in the trunk in the forge. It's there, past the gate.
All right, but I was told not to go there.
And now I'm telling you to go. And when it's done, bring it to me to check so you don't make me look bad. Off you go. Lads, this here itinerant is my new helper.
What's the matter, good wife? Why are you standing here grumbling?
Because of that damn blacksmith. I'm waiting here for him like for Judgment Day. The lock on my spice chest is stuck, and Sir Otto will be back any time. How am I to bake gingerbread without ginger, eh?
How can the blacksmith help you?
How do you think? He always takes this bit of wire and opens the chest for me, and then he promises to change the lock for 3 years now.
Can I help you somehow?
No, unless you can pick a lock. And decent folk don't know how to do that.
Oh, you said the blacksmith knew how to do it, though. So the blacksmith isn't a decent man?
Aye, and he ain't decent. He's a nasty piece of work.
I know how to do it, but first I have to get tools for it.
All right, I'll wait here. Another while won't kill me.
Fine. Now to temper it. About that horseshoe.
Well, did you get it done?
Yeah. Here.
Well, what are you standing around here for? I told you to take it to Kabat.
No. You told me to bring it and show it to you.
You're a smart one, eh? Well, now I'm telling you to go to Kabat with it. He's our groom. Most likely he'll be idling by the upper stables. The grouch. Just between the two of us, he's a very unpleasant fella. Unlike me.
I can't wait. I brought you those horseshoes. I mean, horseshoe.
That took long enough. I've only got 1 horse here and I've got nothing to shoe him with. And you know who gets in the shit over it?
You?
Exactly. Mistakes are punished here. So either I'd end up reduced to beggary, or I'd have to go back to what I was doing before. And I wouldn't like that.
What did you do before?
You're a bit inquisitive, ain't you?
Well, I get the feeling you're actually proud of it.
Let's just say I haven't always made an honest living. Is that enough for you?
Not quite. I'd also like to know if you've still got any tools.
I might be able to find something, but I'll tell you, it won't come cheap.
Isn't there maybe something I could do for you in exchange?
Well, since you're offering, I lost something playing dice and I'd like to have it back. A very nice turquoise rosary.
Who did you lose it to?
Father Nicodemus. That priest rolls dice like the devil himself was guiding his hand.
Don't worry. I'll get it for you.
But with no trouble, all right?
Naturally.
Lord be with you. What do you need?
It seems like you'd be glad to have someone to play with.
Alea jactan honest, my friend. The die has not been cast, and that grieves me. No one wants to play with me, so I'll be quite glad if you join me. And for what shall we play? You don't look too well off.
I heard you have a certain turquoise rosary.
Aye, it belonged to Kabat, although belonged is a strong word.
How do you mean?
Kabat is known for having some peculiar things in his property, if you grasp my meaning.
Hang on. You're saying you don't mind holding on to a stolen item?
And who should I give it back to? I doubt Kabat will tell me who he took it from. Besides, you've got to admit a rosary belongs in the hands of a servant of the Lord. It's safe with me. Once its owner turns up, I'll gladly give it back to him.
Or lose it in a game of dice? I wouldn't say it's very safe in your hands.
I'm a priest, not a saint. So what of it?
Sorry, but I'm not going to play for someone else's property.
Suit yourself, friend.
And not a step further than the kitchen.
Guard?
Must you interrupt me at my prayers? If it's arms you want, go to the kitchen.
Sorry to bother you, but I heard you praying. I need to get to your captain.
You know Thomas? Where from?
Well, that's a really long story, but I heard what happened to him, and I need to talk to him.
Talk? What do you expect to hear from him? But it's all the same. Thomas is lying in a fever upstairs in the Maiden. It don't look good for him. Them bastards cut him up good. Poor fella. And if that wasn't enough, they stole his rosary too. Barbarians.
Is this the rosary you mean?
Where did you get that?
Kabat the groom and Father Nicodemus were playing dice for it. But I got it back from them.
I might have known. But you behave like a proper Christian. May I?
Of course.
I'll take it to Thomas's bed. Maybe it'll help him.
Can I go with you? I'd like to pray by his bedside.
Why not? We don't usually allow strangers up there, but after all, you did a good deed. Follow me. The Sawbones was a little reluctant when I told him I wanted to carry Thomas upstairs. The wounded are supposed to lie as close to the chapel as possible. Everyone knows that. Years ago, I heard from a man that something similar happened in Strahlenberg during the Margravate Wars. The Burgrave of the castle, when they took the Burgrave up there, spear and all, on Petronel's orders, the next day they were amazed. The Burgrave
The second toll for hands.
Recovery. They say an angel descended there at night. Greetings, Adele. How's he doing?
Still the same.
Quick.
In a fever.
Over there. Thomas's rosary turned up, so I brought it to him. This wayfarer here found it, and he'd like to pray with Thomas, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
All right.
No,
I'll
please.
be going then. Stay strong.
Pardon me for disturbing you, miss.
If you want to pray, go somewhere else. The chapel is closed. Unless you're a priest. Which I presume you're not.
No, I'm not. My name is Henry.
I'm Adela, Thomas's sister. What is it you want, Henry?
I need to talk to your brother.
No chance of that. He's been lying in a fever for 3 days. And the surgeon is away with Sir Otto. Unless he returns soon, Thomas won't be talking to anyone ever again.
Maybe I could help somehow?
The only one who can help now is the priest. And I don't want to sound gloomy, but all he can do is pray too. Just the same as me.
Where's the physician?
He's with Lord von Berghoff. When Thomas started to get feverish, he left some concoction for him. He was only meant to be gone for a while. But it seems they got stuck somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, the concoction ran out, and we don't have any other physician here.
No, please. I actually know a bit about medicine.
Really? You don't really look the part.
All you have to do is tell me what's in it.
If I knew that, I'd have brewed it myself. Not even our surgeon knows.
No, please.
He does everything according to his books. He uses some medical manuscript, whether he's treating people or livestock.
And where is this book?
How should I know?
No, please.
Probably in his chambers, in the Crone.
I'll have a look there then.
But no one is allowed there.
I'll figure it out somehow.
Why do you want to help us?
Well, unless Thomas recovers and testifies that me and my friend are messengers from Ratai, then my friend will be executed.
You mean that poacher who's to be hanged?
He's a noble. Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein. The whole thing is one big misunderstanding. And only Thomas can sort it out.
I'm a bit bewildered by all this. But all right.
The main thing is, I want Thomas to live too.
Yes, you're right.
I'll get going then. I don't have much time, and neither does Thomas.
Go. And thank you. Hold on. I'm just going to clean it for you.
No, please. The third toll. I'd better get moving. The fourth bell.
I bought a lovely...
What about those lockpicks?
Shh! Not so loud. So, as I said, it won't be cheap.
Let's see what you've got. Let's talk about the price.
Well, I suppose we can try.
Only because it's you.
Well, if you offer a little bit more, we can make a deal. Aye, you'll convince me with that price. I hope you'll be satisfied, my friend.
So I got what I needed, and we can get to it. Where's that chest?
It's in the castle cellars. Follow me. My time is precious, seeing as how his lordship will be back any time.
Yeah, but I'm not allowed there. I was told to stay in the courtyard.
Never mind that. You're going with me and you're helping me. Come along. What a day. I burnt the roux in the morning, and then the girl told me we're out of venison. I don't know what that gamekeeper's up to again. Actually, I do know, and it ain't nothing good. And now this. Here it is, that damn chest.
That doesn't
3
do me
years
any
I've been
good.
telling him. God's truth.
The fourth bell.
Quick! Sir Otto will be back any time, so make sure everything's in order. I don't want to see any idling
man.
here.
If you want to get a bite to eat, stop by the kitchen.
Sir, I want to ask you something.
You? What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be helping outside in the courtyard? Christ! First you cause mayhem at a noble wedding, and now you go snooping around where you shouldn't.
I noticed, sir, that something is troubling you. I could help you.
How could a vagabond like you help me?
Sir, I might not look the part, but I've read a lot.
Don't waste my time with your jokes, you nobody. What would you be able to read?
Species de keep it, sir. looks can deceive. As it happens, I've read many Latin and other texts. For example, the etymologies of Isidore of Seville, the writings of Abbess Hildegard of Bingen, and the Herbarium de Horis Sanitatis, De Materia Medica, and others.
Well, you really surprise me, lad.
Anyway, I'll examine you and try to make a diagnosis.
Yes, that should help.
With your permission, I'll examine you, sir.
What? Here and now?
Now, don't worry, I'll just have a look at you. You don't have to lie down or strip.
I'm glad to hear it.
You're quite pale and rather sweaty.
When it comes upon me, I sweat a lot.
Your eyes are all right. Do you have ringing in your ears?
No.
Do your hands shake?
Well, I'm not the youngest, but it's nothing too bad.
All right. Tell me, sir, what do you usually eat?
Well, I often eat from the banquet table.
So, a lot of roasted game?
Yes, and pâtés, goose, duck. I dine as befits my status.
I see. Tell me, Master Chamberlain, does it hurt all the time, or does it come in waves?
No, not all the time. More like I get attacks.
Uh-huh. And these attacks, have you noticed whether something sets them off?
Well, it's worse when I get upset.
And does it get worse in autumn, when it gets colder?
Yes, it's usually worse in October. Then I don't even have to get upset for it to start.
All right, that makes sense. Did you get advice from anyone about it? Have you tried anything for the pain?
Well, I talked to our surgeon. He just said it was odd and told me nothing more. So I went to Kolin to see Professor Joachim Bavorsky, and he advised me.
Yes? What?
It's a little awkward for me to talk about, I must admit.
Master Chamberlain, I'm here as a practitioner of the medical arts. You can rest assured that whatever you tell me will remain between us.
All right. The professor spoke at length about Jupiter and the houses, and then he told me that my bodily humours are out of balance.
I would expect so. And what did he recommend?
Well, that I should get more silver into my body. So I wear more silver jewellery, and when there's a full moon, I go to the meadow here below the castle, naked.
Really? So you're taking it quite seriously. And has it worked?
No, but there'll be a full moon soon, so I could damn well use some other advice.
I understand. Sir, I'm afraid you have a stomach ulcer. If it's not treated, you could even die of it.
Good God! What should I do?
The main thing is a strict diet. No fatty or heavy foods. In other words, nothing from the banquet table. You have to eat boiled white meat, poultry or fish, lots of vegetables, and gruel.
Gruel? Like a...
Yes, like the common folk. And another thing, you mustn't get angry, under any circumstances.
What? I mean, what?
That's the way. Oh, and I'll get you a herbal potion. I know exactly what will do you good.
Can't you get me that potion right now?
I don't have the required remedy, but I could brew it. Only, I don't have the apparatus for that. And also, I could use some medical literature.
Don't worry about that. Our surgeon is also often at a loss. I expect you'll find everything you need in his study. It's upstairs in the Crone. That's the second tower. Now we're under the Maiden. Do you know how to get there?
I think so. But I was told to stay only in the outer courtyard. I wouldn't want to get in trouble.
Trouble? I'm the one who has trouble. Don't worry. Tell them I sent you. Just go, for heaven's sake.
All right. I'll go and get something for you.
Good. If you'd be so kind... Oh! Oof! What did I do?
You're a scrub you're after. You'll have to wait. I've been here for ages. And have to go on duty too.
I suppose you're waiting here for a bite to eat.
Damn right. Like, I know they're preparing a banquet for his nibs, but they could have left one cook here. Or at least a bit of gruel, for Christ's sake.
I can see if I've got anything to eat on me.
Hey, I need some decent grub, not some mouldy bread.
You might be surprised.
Thanks. Well, at least I won't starve.
You're welcome. Enjoy it.
You? What in God's name are you doing here?
I was about to ask you the same question.
I work here, genius.
Who are you, actually?
Me? I'm just cleaning here.
We both know you're lying. The question is, why?
Says someone who was just sitting in a jail cell and will end up right back there if anyone calls the guards on him.
They let me out. I have to work off my sentence.
Really? Here. And what kind of important work would that be?
The Chamberlain sent me. He needs something for his stomach.
That slimy toad? If he doesn't watch out, his stomach will be the least of his worries.
Well, you look like you know your way around here. Maybe you can help me.
Why should I?
I'm not stupid. You've no business here. You're snooping around in the surgeon's stuff, and God knows what else. It could land you in trouble.
Oh, yeah? How?
Well, for instance, I could take something here. Don't forget, I might be slaving here today, but tomorrow they'll get fed up with me and they'll probably kick me out by morning. And you'll still be here. So it'll be on you. For sure someone saw you coming here.
And you too, no?
Well, there's quite a big difference between you and me. The guards don't pay much attention to me, but you...
I get it. Sometimes it's an advantage.
And sometimes not. So, to the point.
All right. If it's medicine you're after, the surgeon has a store across the corridor. There's all sorts of junk there, but there's one chest where he puts stuff that he hasn't used up. He locks it carefully, but you might get lucky.
And what if there's nothing interesting for me in there?
Then tough luck. But you can go and have a look at his records. That crackpot writes down everything he does. Maybe he gave someone something that might be of interest to you.
All right. Thanks.
And now get out of my way. Simple maid like me has lots of work to do in this castle.
The bell's ringing for hands the 5th time. The 6th bell. Half the time is up. The 7th bell.
Good day. What do you need?
Sir, about those health problems of yours.
Yes?
I have exactly what you need, sir. Sir, I'd recommend that you take this digestive potion to settle your stomach. Take it after every meal. And don't forget, a good diet, and do not get upset.
All right. Thanks, then.
And now you ought to go and lie down, sir.
Lie down? Me? Ha! Without me, this place would grind to a standstill.
Sir, medicine isn't enough. You also need rest. Otherwise my potion won't have much effect.
Oh, all right then. I'll try it.
And another thing. I don't want to bother you, sir, but I have a question.
Yes? What is it?
I've always wanted to take a look at your chapel. I'm a great admirer of the master who painted the altar there.
Oh, go where you want. I'll inform the guards.
Thank you.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
It will have to be diluted. His fever is getting worse. If this doesn't work, I don't think he'll last long.
You all to be vigilant. These days we have all sorts of vagabonds, drifters, outlaws and bandits roaming the country. And we have one of those vermin here today. A fella called Hans, who is clearly not right in the head. A dangerous madman, a brawler, and a thug, the worst of all, a poacher. And so, for the damages he caused to our dear Lord Otto von Berghoff, he is sentenced to be hanged by the neck until dead!
Stop! You can't execute this man. He's a noble. Captain Thomas here will testify that we're messengers from Ratoi.
What is this nonsense, for Christ's sake?
It's true. I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein.
Deal with it, for God's sake!
But sir, the captain!
Captain Thomas has a fever. He's clearly delirious. Seize them immediately.
You can't do this! I am a nobleman, do you hear? A noble! Get your hands off me! You can't do this!
Open the gates!
My lord.
What the hell is going on?
It was just a... It's a hanging.
You can't hang him. He's a noble.
That's for me to judge. Take him down! And for Christ's sake, help me off this horse!